Mr. President, are you thinking of extending the pause on tariffs beyond July 9th?
No, I'm not. I'm not thinking about the pause. I'll be writing letters to a lot of countries, and I think you're just starting to understand the process. We've dealt with Japan. I'm not sure if we're going to make a deal. I doubt it with Japan. They're very tough. You have to understand they're very spoiled. I love Japan. I really like the new prime minister too. Abe was one of my closest friends, as you know. The new prime minister is great. He's a very strong guy. But they and others are so spoiled from having ripped us off for 30, 40 years that it's really hard for them to make a deal. You know, it's very hard. As an example with Japan, they won't take rice, and yet they desperately need rice. You know that. But they won't take rice. They won't take other products that we have. But think of it, they need rice so badly, but they won't take rice. I figured that was an easy one. Or the cars, as you know, they send out millions. We didn't give them one car in 10 years. They won't take any cars, but they'll sell millions. So we told them, sorry, you can't do that. And we have a great relationship, great reliance, and really a great sort of a partnership in a way. But on trade, they've been very unfair. And those days are gone. So what I'm going to do is I'll write them a letter and say, we thank you very much. And we know you can't do the kind of things that we need. And therefore, you pay a 30%, 35%, or whatever the number is that we determined, because we also have a very big trade deficit with Japan, as you know. And it's very unfair to the American people. So they maybe will be happy, they maybe won't be happy. But some countries we won't even allow to trade. But for the most part, we're going to determine a number, just very simply write them a nice letter, probably one page or a page and a half at the most. And it's going to be essentially congratulations, and it's going to be an honor to allow you to go and do business in the United States of America, because it really is an honor to be able to do that. But we never viewed it that way in this country. And you saw we took in $129 billion in tariffs already. We haven't even started. No inflation. Our country's strong. Our interest rate should be 3 points lower. If our interest rate was 3 points lower, that's almost $1 trillion in cost. And it's done just by the signing of a pen. But we have a moron at the head of the Fed. He's a moron.
Speaking of geopolity, you have a top choice.
I do. I have 2 or 3 top choices. Actually. No. You almost got me there. No. Yeah. I think we're going to have a deal with India, possibly. And that's going to be a different kind of a deal. It's going to be a deal where we're able to go in and compete. Right now, India doesn't accept anybody in. I think India is going to do that. And if they do that, we're going to have a deal for much less tariffs.
DeSantis was
Thank you for telling me, by the way.
You mentioned Barry Marcus.
Yes.
He was impeached in the House.
Yeah.
Investigating him. Investigating the auto pen. What's your further investigation?
Well, the auto pen is under investigation. The auto pen's a serious thing. I think it's one of the most serious things I've heard. Mayorkas was a terrible, terrible secretary, but he was given orders to do things, and the people that gave those orders probably have pardons. You know, Biden pardoned a lot of people. The only one he didn't pardon was himself. But I don't know if I'd do to him what he did to me. Problem is, he wouldn't understand what happened, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
Video with Speaker Johnson is telling him about how he smelled the LNG gas, and he thought it was something else.
Oh, he thought.
For example, do you think there are that Speaker Johnson, or that President Biden just didn't know what he was doing?
President Obama was a terrible president. President Biden was the worst president in the history of our country. President Bush should not have gone into the Middle East and blown the place up. So I don't give him high marks either. Thank you very much.